Welcome to Lesson 1-5, Compare Decimals. Your objective for today is I can use place value to compare decimals through thousandths. Remember, when it ends in THS, that means that it is a decimal, and a decimal means that it is less than a whole with a TH, or it's between two whole numbers. And when you're comparing decimals through the thousandths, one of the things that's important to understand, there's two ways. You can either line up your numbers by lining up the decimal point, or you could create a timeline. I kind of like this method of lining up the decimal points and then moving from left to right through each place value. For example, the 4 is the smallest, and these two 5s are the biggest. So this would be the smallest decimal. And then these two, you would go to the hundredths place, and we would find out that 7 is bigger than 6. So then this would be the largest. So that's the activity that we're going to be doing during 1-5. So if you want to push pause and go ahead and write down the title and then your learning objective, and then just push play when you're ready to continue. So here's our solve and share problem. You do not have any vocabulary. We're going to go through cubes. Remember, for every problem solving that you come across, cubes is a great way to help you. And it says the lengths of the 3, so we are going to circle 3 ants, were measured in a laboratory, and the lengths were 525,000 centimeters, 498,000 centimeters, and 550,000 centimeters. Also, you could say 5,500 centimeters. They are equivalent. And then we're going to underline the question. Which ant was the longest and which ant was the shortest? Keywords there would be to, we want to find out which ant was the longest and which ant was the shortest. We're kind of comparing. So it's difficult to box something particular unless you want to say longest and shortest to box around. Now, once we have that, you're going to be working on your solution. Now, there's two ways you can have a solution. You can create a number line that shows decimal place value by starting at 49 hundredths and moving up to, it would be 60 hundredths. I personally, like I showed you, I like to write them up and down by lining up the decimal point. And it's greater to the left and lesser to the right. So we want to line them up, and then we want to go from left to right when we compare. Oh, wow, I really wrote this number wrong, didn't I? I apologize. This is 498 thousandths. So when we look at this number, we come across 498 thousandths as the smallest. The reason, oh, sorry. Oh, no. There we go. The reason for that is because there's a 4 in the tenths place, so that's smallest. And then as we look, we have 5 and 5, so we're going to go to the hundredths place. And then we have a 5 that's bigger than a 2, so this would be the largest. So the smallest is 498 thousandths, and the largest is 550 thousandths, or 5,500 hundredths. These next slides show you Carson's work, and Carson did exactly what I did. He lined up the decimal place value and then went from left to right, looking at which is the smallest and then which is the largest. And then Brianna's work, she did a timeline, and she started with 49 hundredths and went to 55 hundredths. And this just shows you how 498 thousandths would be here, which as the smallest, 521 thousandths would be a little bigger than 52 hundredths. And then we have 55 hundredths, which is also 550 thousandths. So what you guys need to do in your summarizing section of your notes is to write which ant measured the smallest and which ant measured the longest, and then explain the method you chose and why. And I'm excited to see that when you return on Monday.